This is definitely the most humiliating execution by hanging ever. What was supposed to be a brutal execution turned into a new kind of spectacle by two people. It wasn't a performance on a swing, but an aerial walk. The condemned criminal, who was supposed to be executed, became the center of attention. He was having more and more fun up there. The executioners couldn't stand it anymore and decided to shoot him. Just as they were aiming, a flying knife cut the rope. The man fell to the ground with a thud. The person on the carriage pulled the rope and ran. The man was dragged along the ground. Not only was he unharmed, but he happily gestured and said, "Remember to double tap 6 for the shark." The man's name is Ying Boj, and he is Adam's half-brother. Speaking of Adam, he's no ordinary person either. One day, he went to the store to buy flour, planning to go home and steam buns. Suddenly, 5 members of the Left Eye Gang came and started harassing Adam's fiancée. Adam told them to watch their words and actions, but they, relying on their numbers, dared to provoke Adam. Adam immediately threw the flour into the air, quickly flashed and knocked one person down, then returned to catch the flour. As soon as he landed, Adam threw the flour again, did a handstand, crawled over, knocked another one down, and returned to catch the flour again. The 3 remaining guys said, "Kid, you're impressive. Are you faster than the 3 of us with guns?" Just as the 3 were about to shoot, Adam threw the flour into the air again. A flying knife pierced the flour bag, instantly turning it into a smoke bomb effect. When the flour settled, 2 were hanging on either side of the doorpost, and 1 was hanging upside down on a barrel. The boss heard the commotion and came out with a gun. Just as he was about to shoot Adam, Adam suddenly turned around and stabbed a carrot into the boss's thigh. Adam is the bravest man in the tribe. He often performs tricks like catching flying objects with his mouth for the kids. One day, Frank suddenly arrived, immediately alerting everyone. He claimed to be Adam's father. Adam, who was raised by the chief, didn't believe Frank. The chief told Adam that out of every 25 things a white man says, 1 is true. I think what he said is true. Frank said he had tuberculosis and was dying. Recently, I stole $50,000 and plan to leave it for Adam. It can be used to improve the tribe's life. The money is buried on the grassland by the path, under an old pine tree. The 2 talked until dawn when suddenly a group of bandits came and demanded Frank hand over the $50,000. Both sides picked up weapons to confront each other, even including a 3-year-old baby. Frank told the bandit leader, Big Gold Tooth, that the money was buried under a singing windmill near the biggest heist he ever pulled, about 10 days' journey from here. Frank planned to personally take them there. Big Gold Tooth said if it was fake, he would bury Frank alive. Meanwhile, Adam dug under all the pine trees but couldn't find the money. Without that $50,000, Frank would be buried alive. Adam couldn't bear it, as his father in the town was just killed. He planned to rob the bad guy's money to ransom his father. The chief approved of his plan. Adam hit the road and reached a nearby small town. Unexpectedly, he met his half-brother Ramon there. Ramon also had a little donkey. This was a donkey with special skills. Ramon planned to take him to rob a bank. They attracted the staff's attention in the lobby, while Adam climbed through a window, faced the vault's iron walls, recited a spell, spat a big mouthful of water, and quickly stuffed the bills into a bag, which also contained Frank's old message, saying to build by the River Valley waterfall. That might be the place Frank mentioned. While Adam was pretending to be shallow, Ying Boj came over to chat. Unexpectedly, he was also Frank's son. When the bank manager came upstairs, Adam escaped again by climbing. Just as the manager was about to teach them a lesson with a gun, the little donkey used its skills to show him what it means to treat money like dirt. The 3 brothers headed to the River Valley waterfall while continuing to rob money to gather $50,000. Ying Boj said his neck is so stiff because when he couldn't finish his homework as a child, his mom would lift him by the neck, causing even their family's cows to become unemployed later. That day, they arrived at the River Valley waterfall, where there was a small cabin with a mute bearded man inside, who turned out to be their half-brother too. The 4 brothers planned to rob Gold Nugget Bar. It said there's a huge gold nugget inside, worth at least $20,000. First, head to the barbershop to gather some intel. The bearded guy has eczema down below. Luckily, the barbershop has a miracle ointment. He scoops out a big chunk with his hand and applies it to the bearded guy's body. Afterward, there's still a lot on his hand, so he rubs it on Raymond's beard. At this point, there's still some left on his hand, so he applies it to the donkey rear. There's even some left on his fingers, so he puts it on Hard Bo's teeth. Finally, he uses a bit as his own lip balm. I must say, this ointment is truly versatile. The private investigator arrives at the bar to check out the gold nugget, which is placed above the fireplace. While they're chatting with the owner, Little Handsome comes in with a photo, also looking for Frank. Even more amazingly, the black pianist in the bar is their half-brother. Thus, the 6 brothers are finally reunited. Next, they need to figure out how to raise money to save their dad. I seriously suspect the director has seen Calabash Brothers. That night, they start their operation. Little Handsome comes over to distract the owner. Adam walks the tightrope from above. Halfway through, he realizes he forgot something. so he goes back to carry hard bow over. Adam directly breaks the glass. Jiabao hears the noise and goes to check, but the donkey kicks him out. Little Handsome deliberately steals something to draw attention. The two quickly chase after him. Midway, they get caught in a net by the bearded guy. The black guy uses water to extinguish the fireplace. Conspiracy Bro lowers a rope down the chimney. The black guy ties the gold nugget with the rope. Conspiracy Bro quickly pulls it up, but the gap above is too small, and the nugget gets stuck. At this moment, the owner sees them. The black guy picks up the gold nugget and runs. Unfortunately, they are soon caught by the owner. It turns out the owner used to be in cahoots with Frank, but due to an uneven split, Frank stabbed the owner. Afterward, he left. This time, he can finally get his revenge. Taking out all 5 of his sons at once is quite thrilling to think about. While the owner is gloating, Ramon runs up from behind and knocks the owner out with a shovel. The owner meets his end on the spot. Continuing on their journey, they encounter a baseball coach. The coach recounts Frank's most legendary battle, which took place at Giant Rock, 160 kilometers from here. At this point, they still need 10,000 more. They arrive at a small town. They've never seen such brazen robbers, some grabbing jewelry, others taking money directly. There were even 2 beauties who were directly roasted. If you ask why they were so bold, it's because someone was performing in the town. A British guy was sentenced to hanging for using his face to massage women, but he turned the gallows into a stage thanks to his strong neck. Just as they were about to shoot him, Adam cut the rope with a knife and then took him away, dragging him on the ground. They finally gathered enough money. While they were happily bathing and celebrating, the Left Eye Gang, who had been dealt with by Adam, caught up with them. Not only did they steal their money, but they also let their horses go. Now they have to start from scratch again. But time is running out. Luckily, there's a poker festival here tomorrow. There will be a lot of cash on site, and they plan to try their luck. The place is heavily guarded, with armed men everywhere on the rooftops. Ramon enters with the bearded man and the black man, pretending to be guests here to play cards. Unexpectedly, the fastest gunman in the West also showed up, making everyone feel uneasy. But Adam is no ordinary person. He transformed into a phoenix spirit and passed through the gate. As for how he did it, you'll have to ask the director. Just as the fastest gunman was about to kill Ramon, Adam put a knife to his neck, then not only took the money on the table but also their horses. The 6 of them set off happily again. When they arrived at Giant Gull Rock, they didn't find the singing windmill, but they discovered the buried Left Eye Gang. Big Fang had buried them here to suffer. It was just for fun, said the Left Eye Gang, claiming the money was still there and hoping to be dug out. They agreed not to do evil anymore, so Adam agreed to dig them out. While tracking, they reached a crossroads and didn't know where to go next. Little Handsome took out a photo of Frank, and Adam noticed the tattoo of a big gold tooth on it, which belonged to the person who killed his mother back then. Adam didn't say anything and told his brothers to set up camp there and discuss it tomorrow. At night, he took the money, left a letter, and set off. He wanted to avenge his mother and then bring his father back, hoping his brothers wouldn't get involved in the killing. Adam indeed found Frank and Big Goldtooth under the kite and gave the money to Big Goldtooth. After that, Adam wanted to settle the score for Sham's revenge. Big Goldtooth quickly drew his gun and shot at Adam, but Adam threw a flying knife. Not only did it stop the bullet, but it also took down the big bandit. The robbers were about to shoot Adam when the other 5 brothers arrived, along with the one-eyed man. Seeing they were outmatched, the robbers had no choice but to leave. Adam invited Frank to his wedding, but Frank made an excuse about having debts to collect. Adam mentioned they had robbed 2 $50,000 hauls on the road, so money wasn't a worry. Hearing about the extra $50,000, Frank immediately called back the robbers. It turned out he had orchestrated everything. He was getting old and didn't want to do the dirty work himself, so he planned to use Adam. He wanted to get $50,000 and then retire. Others play tricks on their parents, but you're tricking your kid. Frank demanded they hand over the remaining $50,000 and brought out Adam's fiancée as leverage. Adam said it was too late because there was a gift in that $50,000. Then, with a bang, an explosion occurred, and chaos ensued. Frank took Adam's fiancée and ran into a cave. He thought he could use his familiarity with the cave to subdue Adam, but he forgot Adam could appear and disappear like a ghost. In no time, Frank was pinned to a wooden board with a knife. Years ago, when Adam's mother planned to report them, the big bandit killed her. Frank said he had no choice. Adam didn't kill him but left him in the cave. He returned to the tribe with his 5 brothers. The chief became their shared father. Adam and Wivenki completed their wedding, and the brothers all found girlfriends in the tribe. From then on, they lived a shamelessly happy life. The movie, Ridiculous 6, ends here. After watching this movie, I want to ask everyone. If you had Adam's ability to appear and disappear at will, what would you most want to do with it? If I were Shark, I'd definitely use it to compete in a 100-meter race and probably crush all the opponents. Alright, if you want to see more great movie reviews, please follow me. Bye-bye. Yeah!